California is all about celebrities and sunshine, but we are here to talk about non-fungible tokens. This is NFT and Coffee, live from LA. Welcome to your new favorite multi-platform talk show, where we will get to know the non-fungible humans that are shaping the NFT community. We'll be getting personal with your favorite artists, community leaders, and changemakers that are building Web3. This is NFT and Coffee. Welcome to a special edition of NFT and Coffee. My name is Rachel Wilkins. We are in gorgeous sunny California on this beautiful rooftop.
Yes.
Talking to the amazing Pablo Stanley. Pablo, it's so nice to meet you.
Great to meet you, Rachel. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having this conversation. I know it's a busy week for everybody, so this is amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So for those who have been under a rock for the last let's say 18 months, can you tell us a little bit about how you transitioned into the NFT space and what it was that got you excited about NFTs?
Yeah, so I've been a graphic designer and an artist for a long time, and before getting into NFTs, I had been doing a lot of illustration systems and putting them out there for others to use, and I made them open source so others can use them, and I get really excited about the idea of putting doodles, like leaving it as the starting point for others to create stuff with them. So even before NFTs, I was already just like putting a lot of illustration kits like this out there, and they were pretty. I mean, they were pretty successful in that a lot of people adopted them to use them on their websites, on their keynotes, on their comics and presentations and all of that stuff. So then NFTs came, and it's like, oh, this looks a lot like what I'm already doing,
right?
But like in this new technology, Web3, putting it on the blockchain, and so that got me really excited because it's the idea of using a new technology and using art and this new technology with this really smart people that are like seriously pioneering, creating something new and figuring out how to use this technology in creative ways. And also just the community, like the aspect of as an artist having a closer relationship with your as a creator with those who consume your content, but they're in this way it's different because like you're going to be like, well, that's it's always been like that, Pablo, right? Well, no, because here they don't only consume it, but they're part of it. They have they have a stake in the ground on this. They actually, like, as token holders, they are someone who has a voice as part of this creation. So I started seeing that while before this, the communities were more around the content creator, and here is really around the content. Like suddenly the content belongs to the people, belongs to the community, and they create things on top of it. Right. So that really attracted me as an artist, because I believe in that, the power of collaboration, where it's like I mean people say, oh, you're really creative, Pablo. Yeah, okay, I'm creative, but there's limits on what I can do, right? And when you plant that seed into a community and you give them these for example with me, like these robots, it was for them, they see it as a starting point, and then they start putting a little bit of themselves in these doodles, and they start putting their own stories and their own creations. So it's been amazing to see, as an artist, a space in which communities go around the content and create something new out of it.
I mean, it has to be so rewarding, right, as an artist, to be able to say, I am actually able to really impact these individuals, and they're able to have input into where this goes.
Yes.
What has been like, is there a particular moment that you can single out that has been really rewarding to you, that just kind of sticks with you?
Yes, I mean, there's like I started an NFT collection called Robotos, and it's just like 10,000. It's one of those PFP projects. For those who don't know, it's a profile pic projects, right, where it's just like 10,000 of these drawings. That they're all robots, but they're all different. They all have unique traits, and they all have different things that make them particular. So, and when you go and collect one, you know that this is a specific one. There's not another one specifically with that combination, you know? So for me, it was really rewarding to see people creating stories out of the different traits that exist. So I created like pirate hats and different traits that will be like pirate traits.
Right.
And some of them will be like punk traits, and some of them will be like even like I had a mullet too. Like, and you would imagine just like, oh, robots don't have hair, Pablo. Well, my robots do have hair.
They can have whatever they want in this world, right?
I did put a couple of cables on the hair, so now it's kind of robotic hair. Okay, it's digital hair or something. So what has been rewarding to me is just like, I mean, I made those and they kind of have a story, but really people creating their own sub-communities around these.
Wow.
Where like suddenly there's the pirate Botts, and there's the punk Botts, and there's some of them are actually, they created their own country club. And this one is kind of like, yes, and it's robots that they're pretty exclusive. It's a pretty exclusive group, and they go golfing, they play tennis, and they just came out in this floating island. And I kind of like again, I planted that seed, but really I seen this garden grow out of those seeds, you know. And one of those, they call themselves the muletos, which is the ones that have that mullet. It was one of those traits that honestly, when I created it and I put it out there, I was like, maybe that wasn't the best idea. You know, I was like, man, the mullet is not that great, but okay, it's out there, whatever. But I would see it and I'll be like, oh man, nobody's going to like that. They loved it. They loved it, and they created their own community, and they have their own lore, their own way of talking. It's like, what the hell happened? What is this?
That's so exciting, right?
Yes,
as a creative, because it extends your work in such a way, right?
Exactly. And as an artist, like suddenly I realized, like, oh, this is it's kind of you have to change your mentality, because as an artist, you're taught that you are the creator, so this is yours, and it's an expression of yourself. You, the artist, and I think there's still a little bit of that. But as an artist, you have to also let go. Whereas, like, hey, this doesn't belong to me anymore. I mean, they still see me as the creator, the artist, the OG creator, but really, I have to learn to let go and see others create something new that I would have never thought of. And so, but it sounds like I'm excited about it, but I can see that I suppose there was a battle inside me towards like, hey, hold on, but this is mine, right? It's like, no, it's not yours, Pablo, anymore. These are tokens, and there's like almost 6,000 people who own this.
Wow.
And it's not just the token, it's what this represents, like what the story behind it. It is there. So like coming at peace with that, it is. Yeah, now it's really rewarding. But there was a little bit of fight inside me. I will be honest, and I think that any artist will have that little bit. It's like, but it's mine. It's my ego, right?
Right.
So, but yeah, it's beautiful to see the community just embracing different things and creating something new out of it.
I feel like that's such solid advice for artists. I hear a lot that people are afraid to put work out in this space because they're worried that somebody will come and take the work, replicate it, put it on another blockchain.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of fear, and I think there's a lot of like scarcity mindset in that sense.
Yeah.
I think what you're saying here is that, you know, just put it out there, like see what happens, what develops with it.
It is the abundance mindset, right? Where like, no, the more is more, and there's not instead of putting blocks for people, like embrace the idea that others can create on top of it something else, and that's what I was doing before NFTs. What open source is all about that, like and open design it's about the idea of sharing your process, sharing how you did it, so others can do it too, and teach like how others can do it, and then learn from that, because others will have other ideas. So for me, it has. As an artist, in a selfish way, I put myself out there and I put my work out there because that also helps me. like it returns back to me instead of like trying to, no, this is mine. No, it's like, hey, it's everyone's. Like, do you want to do something with it? And then they do something with it, and then it's like, people still see you as a creator.
Yeah.
And if more people embracing this, like it's really, it keeps growing, and it creates that if I would say network effect. I don't know, like it just like keeps expanding. So you have to allow that and be okay with that. I understand how some artists might be too protective of because we have been taught that you have to protect that, and there's other people who are going to abuse it, and they're going to steal it, and sadly some people do that, where it's like, hey, they steal your ideas and they make money, and then they leave you on the bus, right? So but for me, I suppose I'm in a place of privilege where it's like I have allowed that, where it's like, hey, like let it grow and let it go out there, and if others do something with it, I'm okay with it.
I love that, and I like to think of us artists, as creatives, as professional risk takers. Right? We think outside the box, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Time Magazine, the whole entire Time brand family.
Yes.
They have been just really driving a lot of the movement for NFT community. You are a Time artist. Tell us what that experience has been like, how that has helped shape your career over the last 12 months.
Yeah. The Time team, they have been really champions of other artists, and really like champions in the space, where they have embraced this new technology at a time where it can be scary for like a company as big as Time. Like, hey, let's, like you said, like it's a risk. It's taking a risk of like going and going into a space that is still too new. It's a lot of the things have not been really well established, but we need other innovators like that in the space to help us like bring more creators, bring more artists into the space, so we can define what this is. We're still figuring it out.
Right. You know? Right.
We keep saying that in the space.
It's early.
It's still really early, and it is, you know. And I see it as back in the 90s. I see what we're going through is kind of like it's 1997, and we all hear about the internet and this new thing, but not everybody understands it. And a lot of corporations and a lot of the big players in the space will see the internet as that crazy thing, and some of them will dip their toes into it, but not too seriously, right? Because they still don't understand it. But still, it's 1997, and the internet is just being invented, and we're still figuring out how it is, and it's all crazy. So I feel like it is like that right now, where it's like it feels like the Wild Wild West, where like we all figure out what we're doing, but it's so cool too. It's so fun.
So cool.
Because like I remember, like I am that old, whereas like I remember like
I'm right there with you, Pablo.
Late 90s, early 2000s, when we were pretty much just like creating the web, and we're creating web experiences, and it was all crazy. I don't know if you remember, but it was just like you would go to every website, and every website would be different. It would be a totally new thing, and you wouldn't
clunky
know.
And
but also fun. It all had animations and music, and just like every button had a sound effect. It was crazy. I feel like it is right now. Like we are at that stage right now on the web.
It's playful, right?
It's playful because we're figuring out what this is. And like what happened after that is that then suddenly, I don't know if you noticed this, but then after that, like around 2007 till today, I guess, that's when we started like standardizing and creating a homogeneous experience in the web, which made it easier for everyone to just like navigate the web, to know where to find a search button, where to find a user settings and all that stuff that you will expect. Like, but it's also like kind of boring, you know, like every site is the same. So I like seeing companies like and teams like Time that are okay. It's 1997, and let's get into this internet thing.
Yeah.
And let's because we see that there's something.
Having that
out there.
vision and the foresight,
Having that
right?
vision.
Yeah.
Like Time, I see it like that. Like taking that risk. Because 1997, there's this new thing, internet. I don't know. A lot of companies will say, Time saying like, no, let's do it. So that's how I see Time right now, where like with the leadership team, like their team who are like creating, and not only that, they're not just like putting themselves out there, they're really bringing other artists and making the space and a platform for other artists from all over the place.
Diverse artists as well.
A pretty diverse set of artists, and that tells you that it's not just like, oh, Time seeing this as a cash grab, because there are a lot of companies that are seeing it like that. It's a what is this? Millions of dollars that artists are making. Let's make some millions too. And I don't see Time doing it like that. No, they're saying like, no, let's find ways of like how artists can have a way to make some revenue from their art, so they can keep creating art, and let's support them and let's bring it into this space that allows them to have a better connection with their community. So I'm really proud to be part of that group.
It's amazing.
And I'm just honored, you know, and their leadership team with Maya, with Keith Grossman, with everyone there, and actually some people are here. They're from the team too.
Nice.
But it's really inspiring to see people, really smart people like them in the space.
Amazing. 2 more questions for you, and then we'll let you enjoy the party. So, has this changed how you think as an artist and how you approach when you're creating? The idea that you now are creating for a whole subset of audiences. Like, has it changed how you think about your approach to your work?
I think a lot of the same rules still apply, right? I mean, the art is still the same in a way. I still do everything by hand, and I still put it together in the same way. But now, the difference is like that relationship with the community and how, like when I'm creating something, I'm creating it in a way that is like, how is this going to be? How can I make this in a way that is going to be easy for others to put themselves in it, where like they can use it themselves. When I created Robotos, I think by accident that happened, and people, they're so hungry to create and to find an excuse to just like let their imagination run, that they have used Robotos that way. But now I'm like, oh, no, now I want to intentionally, like in other collections and other things that I do, I want to intentionally allow people to discover those creative superpowers that they have. And it's like, hey, let's create art that is not just me expressing myself, but it's really a canvas for others, so they can express their own things. So that's the thing. What has changed? My mindset, how it's changed.
Amazing. So, last question. What are you excited about? What has got your fires burning right now?
I'm excited. I'm going to do shameless self-promo.
Please, you have the camera. Go for it.
Yes. Well, actually, or like after creating Robotos and after going through that experience, like we realized that the space needs tools for artists, like tools that make it easy for other artists and creators to just like create their own collections, to create their own worlds, to just like have a stronger relationship with the communities. So we have been, our team, we have been creating different tools for NFT artists and creators, like tools that I wish I had when I started. You know, it's like, oh, if I had this, like tools that we actually had to build for ourselves. So it's like, hey, these tools that allowed me to create 10,000 Robotos, let's put these tools out there so others can create that.
That's incredible.
And we have already seen, like, we opened, well, we had a beta, and people are loving it. People are like, oh my God, look at what I'm creating. Because they're creating just like they're pieces of art, and then they see 10,000 of them.
Wow.
And it's like, wow, look at this. So I'm excited for what other people are creating with these tools, what it's allowing them to do. And also we're creating tools to also create their own, we're calling it the microverse, which is a 2D metaverse experience.
Wow.
And people are creating crazy stuff. They're creating their own little worlds where characters, where you can actually, with your NFT, you connect and you get into the world and you go in there. So it's been really cool to just like see other people just like creating other stuff with it.
Amazing.
So I'm excited for that, and that is a shameless self promo. That's Bueno.
Bueno. That's I love it. That's the name of the company.
Yeah, because like in the space we need the
more
Bueno, we're the buenos in the movie, the good guys. I want to think.
Absolutely love everything about that. And Pablo, what a pleasure to meet you and to sit down.
Thank you so
and have
much.
this conversation. Thank you.
Watch NFT and Coffee and smash that subscribe button. Is it a YouTube channel? I don't know.
All of the things.
All of the
That's
things.
perfect.
All the things. Follow, smash the subscribe button. NFT and Coffee is beautiful. My two favorite things.
Yes, mine too.